welcome to the latest edition of the Talking City podcast with myself, Alex James, and Chief City correspondent Simon Bajkowski. And before we dive into the weekend, just a quick word from our sponsors, which is NordVPN. And while I'm waiting for the auto cue, I'm still reading off my phone. So to get the best discount off your NordVPN plan, go to nordvpn.com/Talking City. Our link will also give you 4 extra months on the 2-year plan. There's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee, and the link is in the podcast episode description box. There we go. And now onto the football, or maybe not onto the football after Saturday. Simon, are you well?
Yeah, I'm well. Still dressed for summer, Alex, unlike
You
some
are,
people.
yeah. Well, this,
It is raining outside, but don't let that stop.
Some of us were off on Bank Holiday Monday to enjoy the sun, and I was not one of those people. So did you have a good day off in the sun?
Do you know what? It was a terrific bank holiday. I always get so much grief from my wife because it's always, I'm always working at least 2 of 3 days and it's always raining. And this time I had 2 of 3 days off and it was warm and sunny. So no complaints in this chair.
Very good, very good. And we are obviously slightly late with the podcast this week because of your bank holiday barbecuing and
everyone's bank holiday in it, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to listen to the podcast while they're having the day off, do they?
No.
I want to put it on.
Well, I'm sure they do actually. I think they will. Could be better than a bit of us on a bank holiday
let
Monday
us know
evening.
In the comments. Is that what people say? Yeah.
Anyway. Onto the football and onto the transfers and onto the situation at the Etihad, which seems no clearer than when you and I last spoke in terms of...
No, and that's just people trying to get in.
Yeah, well, we'll come on to that in a minute. But in terms of the 11 and in terms of the squad, where do we start?
Discuss. I think there's a bit of a theme emerging already whereby the funner the 11 looks and the more happy people are by the 11 and are like, oh, great, this is fantastic. The worse the performance.
So you want Gundogan and Bernardo Silva back in?
I think Saturday was a strong argument for what you miss when Bernardo Silva doesn't play. I think there was a kind of wasn't quite the same organisation and helping out and just being there and calm presence. I also don't think it was that bad a performance. I don't think they played terribly.
No,
it was just a case of sort of things not quite clicking. And also, we should add, even if it seems like a cop-out, Tottenham were brilliant. Tottenham were really, really good from minute one. You could just see, Thomas Frank had drilled his team to just press really well. How he has got them working like that in such a short space of time is an absolute credit to him and damning of kind of several other managers in the league who say, oh, my philosophy needs time to work and things like that.
Yeah.
Really, really good from Tottenham.
Yeah, we shouldn't forget, should we? The opposition are allowed to play well.
Yeah. We could be looking back at this season and saying, oh, City have done incredibly well and won the league, but they lost at home to Tottenham in that game. And, City have had games like that in the past, but because of last season, they've got nowhere near enough credit in the bank. So we're treating the Tottenham defeat as kind of like a continuation of the inconsistency of last season rather than, for instance, the one game in the first 10 that they'll lose, that kind of thing.
And it was a bit like the Wolves game in that City played well in that game. They won comfortably, but it wasn't flawless.
No.
They could have gone behind in that game in the first half. Things might have been different. And the Spurs game, they played pretty well for the first, until Leighton Orient went off. They were...
Yeah. They did play well. I think sort of they weren't good in the final third. Haaland missed a very good chance that he should have scored. If that had gone to 1-2 just before half-time, maybe the second half's very different. Marmoush didn't do enough with what he got. Reinders, everything came off for him at Wolves in an attacking sense, and nothing came off for him. Cherky at Wolves comes on, does this cameo, brilliant performance, starts against Tottenham, and it's kind of like, right, maybe, it just wasn't anywhere near what that performance was, but it was a very different game and different stage of the game. City just didn't click, and that is the thing to be expected when you've got such new players. But it was interesting because Guardiola had spoken on Friday in his press conference about, he was asked about Al Hilal, which was only like 3 games ago,
Yeah.
competitively. And he said, "Oh, we didn't stop the counters because it was a new team and we're still getting used to each other, and that's fine. But like, should we be expecting more because they've had a month's training? Probably.
Yeah.
But like Thomas Frank, to be fair, got asked after the game about the high line, the very high line that Jamie Carragher pointed out, and Pep said we've been playing it for 9 years." And was like, you exploited the high line, didn't you? And he was like, well, yeah, we did, but we got caught offside the first 6 times.
Yeah.
So it's one of those where like
And it was fractional on the...
Yeah. So the one that they got, like, fantastic, and they've exploited it, but like you can see that it was nearly there from City. So the question is, are they going to be nearly there all season, or are they going to? Is this going to be the norm or the exception? That's the question after Tottenham.
Yeah, and there's question. I think you can put questions probably centre around the keeper as well, not Trafford specifically, because I mean he shouldn't have played that pass. However,
I think you can question Trafford.
Nico Gonzalez probably. It was Nico Gonzalez, wasn't it? Who he passed the ball to?
Yeah.
He wanted the ball there, didn't he?
He did
came
want the
and
ball
showed
there.
for it.
Yeah.
You can question Trafford, but what I mean is it's not just a Trafford thing. It's a goalkeeper situation that still seems very messy.
I think there have been a lot of overreactions to Trafford's performance, and like a lot of people saying, "Oh, well, he's no good with his feet," and you sort of like forget that, or some forget that a week ago he played a ball with his feet for Reinders that immediately led to the third goal.
Yeah.
He didn't have as much pressure on him then, and the real worry with me for Trafford at the weekend was his head was on Mars in the second half. Like, I thought he did pretty well in the first half, sort of coming out with a few difficult positions and situations. And then he played that pass for the second goal. And second half, it was like having Claudio Bravo back in net. He was just all over the place. His confidence looked sort of through the floor. And to me, well, I don't know him that well, but I'm not used to seeing that from him.
Yeah.
And that was a surprise and should be a concern. So it's whether he can kind of brush that off and say, yeah, I just went, but it won't happen again kind of thing, or whether, it was...
Yeah, it seeps into...
And but as you say, we've been saying it since Wolves, like, it's no way for the goalkeeping situation to be. It is chaos.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like that. City... For all the sort of, we had a bad time last season, we're going to fix things early on, there's no way they should be 2 weeks into the season and not have a clue who the number one is, whether they're signing a new goalkeeper, or what on earth is going on. Why is Stefan Ortega still there? Like, you've got 4 keepers there. 2 of them might leave. Like, your numbers 1 and I guess now 4 might leave, and, another number 1 might come in, but might not.
Yeah.
But with a week of the window to go, it is madness.
And that won't... I mean, Trafford is, what is he, 22?
22.
He's had half a season in the Premier League. He didn't
Yeah.
He didn't play the full season for Burnley because they took him out of the firing line a little bit. And obviously, completely different playing for Burnley than it is for City.
Yeah.
But he's 22. He's in his first big club, if you like.
Yeah.
A lot of eyes on him.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be better for the experience of the weekend. But as you say, you don't know because he's not really been in this situation before.
Yeah.
And not knowing whether he's going to play week to week. He's come sort of thinking, I'll come in, I'll challenge Edison, then I'll be number 1.
Yeah.
Now he's probably thinking, I need to keep ahead of Edison. Hang on a minute, is Donnarumma coming in? I
Yeah,
feel about Donnarumma coming in because when am I going to play then? Because Donnarumma's 26, he's won the Champions League, and I'm...
Yeah, but also Tottenham was harder for him in the sense that at Wolves, Edison was out the squad.
Yeah.
So you sort of like, right, Edison has got this untimely sickness and isn't in the squad. You're number 1. And fine, goalkeepers are used to kind of filling in. Edison being fit and Pep saying, actually, last week I said Edison was my number 1 no matter what. Now I'm not too sure. Now I'm going to decide, 12 hours before the game, and you're only going to know then.
And that impacts everything.
Yeah, like Trafford got on the bus for Wolves on Friday afternoon and knew he was starting because Edison wasn't on the bus. But only finding out sort of the night before the game and then Edison being on the bench, sitting watching your performance.
Yeah,
and
I
thought
thought Edison did well actually because the cameras panned to him after
I imagine,
after the mistake,
did,
and he had his gracious sort of
right. Yeah.
neither here nor there face on. So I thought credit to him for that. He wasn't banging the.
And I don't think I've seen any keeper get close to what Edison does in the box under pressure. I always think back to like the Liverpool things where he just like side foots it off the line and things like that. But Trafford is nowhere near as good at that kind of pass in the box as Edison is. If Edison was in goal, that would not have happened on Saturday. But what a situation where your number one is not starting in goal because you don't know if he's still going to be at the club in a week.
Yeah.
It's not this. I know Pep keeps saying, "Oh, every club's like this. Every club's the same in the final weeks of the window," and it's like I'm not sure. I know every club's got business to do or whatever, but
there's not many clubs who. I mean, United probably, but there's not many clubs who have got the same level of.
This feels particularly un-City.
Yeah, very much so. And the Donnarumma thing as well.
Mad.
Like, massive thanks very much for everything.
Huge farewell.
At
at
lap
PSG
of honour.
on Friday night, yeah. And
the latest is
huge sort of transfer reporters coming out and saying, yeah, everything's agreed but only if Edison goes, and we don't know if Edison will go. And it's like, right, yeah, big 7 days. Like, I'm not saying City aren't interested in Donnarumma and they've spoken to PSG about him and would clearly be interested or are interested in him, as we've said. But like, it doesn't feel like Edison's leaving imminently. And we've also had a lot of reports from Turkey being like, oh, Edison's on a plane to Istanbul. Edison's coming here for his medical. Edison's in this local kebab shop, and like none of that has happened. So it's enormous. And like, City are at Brighton on Saturday as well, which I know they can fly, and it's not as far as it sounds, but like it's quite a big deal for like one whole day or more than a day of your of 7 left in the transfer window for the whole squad to be occupied with an away game. Really.
Yeah, and that away game on Sunday, isn't it?
Sunday, yeah.
Which is obviously the day before transfer deadline day.
Yeah,
which, Edison might well have come down with whatever it was, gastroenteritis. But if you've got a lot of balls in the air, that squad is going to be potentially different as players are, I better not play because I might get injured, or I might be sealing a move in the morning. I need to be here, there, or wherever. Like, there's even more uncertainty around.
I know. Can we talk about Savinho as well? Because there are various sort of cliches you hear in the transfer window, and one of them that you get quite a lot with foreign media is a player's bags are packed. Their bags are packed, ready for the move. So Savinho posting a picture on his social media of sort of a pool table in his house with a packed suitcase at the end of the table, just like chef's kiss, super. But what is Savinho doing as well?
I don't know what is Savinho doing.
Because stuff like that just makes you think
it's just unnecessary.
Well, they want to go. They really want to leave, and then you think, well, why do they like?
That must be a surprise.
I can understand if you think like game time might be more limited or whatever, but also like you've been treated really well in your first year. Like,
and the evidence suggested that if anything, his stock had gone up.
Yeah.
In the last sort of 6, particularly the Club World Cup, he played more minutes than anyone else. Didn't he? I think
But
your 3,000 minutes stat.
He's just decided. No, well, he's injured, of course. He walked out of the stadium with Edison on.
Was he limping
on Saturday? He was limping a bit,
Was it the same leg he was limping on when he went in?
Who knows? Who knows? But that is another one that is just like a bit mad, and it's like now the Spurs game is over, just sort of negotiations
does that
with
accelerate a bit?
Accelerate, or but to use your phrase, there are so many balls up in the air that it's no wonder City aren't catching all of them.
And even putting all you can't put it to one side, but even if you knew that Trafford was going to be number one, or Trafford and Edison was staying, and even if you knew Savinho was staying or going, there still seems like, oh, what's the best? What's the 11 here? Like,
yeah, well, but it's. I mean, yeah, I nearly used a work-related analogy then, but we'll leave that. But there's sort of, you can't get to the starting 11 because there's so many things with the squad. Like, there are still too many non-homegrown players to register in the Champions League. I think it's two more than they've, or I think
it's two, isn't it?
Two more. Yeah. So I think if Ortega went, then sort of Akanji or Gundogan, we've not even mentioned Gundogan left out with Akanji on Saturday. Yeah, there's still too many for the squad, and that again is named in like a week's time after the transfer window. So there's just so many things to sort out before you can think of like, what is my best 11? Like, Pep's probably thinking, I've got 5 players too many to even think about who makes
can't
my
see
best
the wood
11.
for the trees.
Yeah.
How's this happened? Sorry, and I'm not expecting you to have all the answers, because if you had all the answers, you'd be employed by City in a high paid technical football position. But
yeah,
this doesn't feel like it. It felt like 6 weeks ago when City got 3 or 4 in the building before the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
And there's always talk about, or this seems like there's always been talk about Edison for.
Yeah.
And then when Trafford came in, you thought, okay, yeah, Edison and Trafford, that makes sense. Trafford then seamlessly becomes number one in a year's time. And it just seems to have all gone to
yeah.
in the last.
I think, to be fair, I think the issue has, or a large part of the issue has just been everyone wanting to stay. City used to players wanting to leave, like win another Premier League, think about maybe another experience. In this instance, everyone's kind of seems affronted at the idea that they could be sort of seen as baggage for the last season and determined to prove they've got another or more years going. And then it's kind of been, Edison came out in the summer and said, I'm not going anywhere. Why would I go anywhere? Like, my head's in Manchester. And then the Trafford thing kind of presented itself. And then Edison has then thought, oh, maybe I would like to go. And Galatasaray have stepped up their interest. And sort of Trafford came in, which meant you had 4 keepers rather than 3. And 4 keepers is mad. And like, right, we'll get rid of Ortega. Oh, right, but Edison might want. So do we need to
and Bettinelli's injured.
And also, and like Ortega, like, is anyone out? This is the thing. It seems like the question with Ortega is like, who out there is still looking for a number 1 keeper 2 weeks into the season? But City are. You say like, oh, well, which team is going to be sort of badly planned enough in the transfer window to still not have a number 1 at this point? And then you're like, oh yeah, that Manchester City are, yeah. But yeah, and I think another factor is, since Hugo Vallano has come in, and because of the bad season, it's kind of like anyone could leave.
Yeah.
Anyone could go. Nobody's sort of done enough that means they're definitely staying. And that has led to sort of 1,000 million conversations about every player. And then you're always going to get surprises.
Yeah.
That, Savinho.
Yeah.
Didn't really see it. But like, if no one's safe, then maybe. But then City is still in a position where, like, players, and Akanji as well, no one's really sort of, like, Galatasaray are interested, Palace are interested, but like, yeah, does Akanji want to go? Because maybe he wants to stay, and in which case,
yeah,
every man and his dog can be interested, but it don't make any difference. And you sort of like, we're looking at it a week to go, you still think Akanji will get done, but it might not. Edison, I'm not sure it gets done. In which case, there's just been, loads of uncertainty across the whole of the squad because no one's really been safe. And it's been, an unsettling first 3 weeks of the season, really.
And the issue is, I guess, City have made, it's no secret that Pep wants to get rid of a couple of players in that squad.
Yeah.
City need to get rid of a couple in terms of the homegrown thing.
Yeah.
And in that situation, your bargaining power is weaker. And
Yeah.
if you're a buying club, why would you buy someone 10 days ago?
Yeah.
You'd wait until
Yeah.
the last 24, 48, 72 hours to
Yeah. Well,
be like, look, we're here now. We might, take Palace, for example, and they'll sign a Kanji.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're here now. We'll take them off your hands, but we're not paying that much. We'll pay this much. And
but also, like, Akanji's been spoken of as, like, if Gay goes and, like, Gay could come to City and Akanji, and it's like, well, Gay's not coming to City, so he could go to Liverpool, but
yeah, it's the classic.
Do you still want Akanji if Gay stays, Palace? Like, that's something else for them to...
Classic domino effect.
Yeah, and like a few weeks ago, we thought that Grealish and McAtee would be the deals that sort of lingered until the end of the window, and then they happened a few weeks ago or whatever. Oh yeah, like, good, very good from City. They've got them out the way in time for the new season, but then it's just kind of become a bit messy, very messy.
It does feel like the next. I don't want to go too early here. When I went too early with, I still think City. I watched Liverpool last night. Liverpool have surrendered 2-goal lead twice in their first 2 games. I know they're sitting on 6 points. I saw Arsenal against United. Didn't think Arsenal were particularly good.
No.
This is how it is early in the season. Yeah. And I still think City avoid defeat at Brighton. They lost there last year, didn't they?
They did, yeah. But they played quite well.
Get to 4 or 6 points. Get the 3 games out of the way, almost.
Well, it's...
The window will be done. The international break happens. And then it's kind of, right, here we are.
Yeah, we will be in a great position to judge City after 5 games because Brighton away on Sunday, end of the transfer window, Manchester United at home, Arsenal away. If they can come out of if they can say played 5, lost 1, very, very good. And no hiccups in the last week of the transfer window. But like, if the Spurs can be the one game they lose, then fine. But if you lose to Arsenal, say, or because this is the thing as well, like City were nowhere near it against their so-called rivals last season and a bit of the year before, but like Arsenal lost 5-1 at the Emirates, Liverpool battered home and away. They need to kind of quickly turn up against one of the big teams, and Tottenham at home was a chance, even though finished 17th last season, was a chance to say, look, we've done this against a team in the Champions League, and they didn't do it. So now that puts more pressure on Brighton. It puts more pressure on the final week of the window. Puts more pressure on the games against United and Arsenal.
Also, there's probably a danger that if they don't get this right, recruitment-wise or player sale-wise, I guess, and you end up, say, with the squad that there are now, or certainly in terms of numbers, even if that means 1 in, 1 out, goalkeeper-wise or whatever, that, well, Pep's not going to be happy because he's made it pretty clear he's not happy already. Yeah. And players X, Y, and Z, Akanji and Gundogan, seemingly, although maybe they're left out because they're more likely to go, and it might change if they're evidently not going.
Yeah.
That's going to be a very, I don't want to say fractured, but a very difficult scenario to manage.
Yeah, I think it'd be less difficult because I said it the other day, but like Pep's been pretty clear all summer. He said at the Club World Cup, like everyone wants to stay now, great. They won't want to stay when they're sat at home when we're playing matches. So he's been very clear to everyone in the squad of the risks they run if they choose to stay. But yeah, it still can't be nice, and it's not good for the squad. It's not like everyone will struggle to still give 100% if they're thinking, oh, what's the point? I'm not going to be involved at the weekend anyway. Like, Pep needs everyone at full tilt, and that's not what they've got if they have too big a squad. So yeah, it's sort of as cheery as last week was. This week's kind of less cheery, decidedly less cheery, but I think that's off the pitch as much as on it.
I do as well. I do as well. Do you want to talk about the ticket scenario or?
Yeah, I mean, we'll sort of try and get into it this week and over the next few weeks, but it just seemed a mess. City have introduced new turnstile systems, and people really struggling to get in. having difficulties getting in, and sort of being unable to get in with the new system, which I don't know then, like, they're meant to attend so many games. Does it count as attended if they've not gone in the new way? A problem for City to have that first up, and also your second home game is Manchester United. So if you don't fix it by then,
exactly what I was going to say,
an enormous issue.
And also on the back of, I mean, we've spoken about tickets quite a lot in the last 6-12 months. This might not be, I mean, this might be fixed relatively quickly. It might rumble on, who knows? But this isn't the kind of thing you need on the back of all the other issues you've had around.
No. It's sort of like, it's a moving feast, isn't it? Sort of the relationship between fans and clubs over tickets. And like, there was a lot of unhappiness from fans towards the end of last season. That was kind of turned around a bit by the season ticket freeze and the reduction in matchday prices. But already people were grumbling over the summer about the changes to ticket policies. And then some of those changes just didn't work on Saturday. So yeah, plenty of work needed from City to try and resolve it as quickly as possible, or there will be kind of a big newsworthy
fallout. Yeah. Not what you need, is it? People struggling to get into the game, and then even when they do get in, you lose 2-0.
Yeah.
You're annoyed before you get in, and then you're annoyed on the walk back out of the ground as well. So
yes, yeah.
But yeah, we will see, and obviously keep up to speed. I'm sure. I know Si will get to the bottom of that, or try to, because you're quite good for a ticket.
Thanks.
Dive. I would say.
Dive. Love a ticket dive. Yeah.
So we'll keep across that over the coming days. Plenty to keep across with the transfers and the small matter of an actual football match on the weekend as well. But we'll leave it there for now. We'll be back, I think, later in the week on Friday. And as ever, you can follow everything across our usual channels. And thanks very much for watching. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.